Let me tell you how I became the victim of fraud in the last way I ever expected. It started when my friend, Joe, who I've known for years and who is also deaf, passed along some investing tips he received from someone in our deaf meetup group on a social networking app. This guy looked legitimate. He even had the snazzy headshot profile picture and a sharp website. And his investment opportunity seemed like a sure thing. But, as you probably guessed, we couldn't have been more wrong. This guy took off, and our money is long gone. Joe should have known. I should have known. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. This guy posed as one of us, took advantage of our community and our willingness to want to help one another. It was all part of his plan. It's called affinity fraud. I looked it up. And it happens in tight-knit communities where trust is important. We should have done our research, but Joe thought this guy was honest, and I trusted my friend. Now our savings, and the plans we had for them, are wiped out, and I never saw it coming.
Hello, I'm Gwen Liccardo, a member of the Securities and Exchange Commission's Retail Strategy Task Force, and I'm here with Mark Berger, Deputy Director in the SEC's Division of Enforcement. Before we begin, let me state on behalf of myself and Mark Berger that the views expressed in this video are our own and do not necessarily reflect those of the commissioners or other members of the staff. We won't be offering investment advice today, nor can we, but we'll give you some valuable information on how you can protect yourself and your loved ones from fraud. Mark, the video we just watched talks about affinity fraud. Can you give us a little more perspective on what that means and how the deaf and hard of hearing communities could be targets of affinity fraud?
Thanks, Gwen. Let me first say that was really a well-done video. So affinity fraud or community fraud, as noted in the video, is when a member of your own personal community or group with whom you share certain characteristics seeks you out as a potential investor, hoping to use what you have in common as a way to scam you. Affinity fraud can happen in communities with shared religious, racial, or ethnic backgrounds, as well as in the deaf and hard of hearing community. And some fraudsters even use social media within these communities to target potential victims who may be socially isolated. And frankly, it may seem only natural to want to trust someone with whom you have something in common. But that's exactly what fraudsters are counting on to make their schemes work. So even if you have a shared background with or personally know the person offering you an investment opportunity, research the investment and the seller on the SEC's website for investors. And that website is www.investor.gov.
What are some of the tactics that fraudsters use in investment frauds?
Sometimes fraudsters will dangle the prospect of wealth or riches, tempting investors with things that they want, but they cannot afford. Fraudsters also often claim that other savvy investors have already invested. Other fraudsters may try to build credibility either by claiming to be with a reputable firm or by touting special credentials or experience. And here's one more common tactic. Fraudsters often claim that you have limited opportunities available or limited time left. And that's a tactic to make you feel like you're at risk of missing out.
Are there any red flags of investment fraud that investors should also keep in mind?
Sure. So if the offer promises high returns with little risk, or if the offer claims to guarantee that a stock will hit a target price, it may very well be a scam. Another red flag of fraud is an offer to invest that comes to you completely out of the blue. For example, through a cold call, an unsolicited email, or direct mail, or social media. And third, watch out when the person promoting the investment does not provide any documentation for the investment, and you can't find any statements or filings online. A lack of documentation about a securities investment is a sign of potential fraud.
What are some concrete steps that investors can take to avoid being victimized in investment fraud?
So there are important steps that you can take to protect yourself. First, be skeptical. As the video we just saw noted, if it seems too good to be true, it likely is. Always do your own independent research into any investment opportunity, and don't ever feel rushed into making these types of important decisions. Keep detailed records of your communications regarding an investment you are considering or have chosen to invest in. Save emails, marketing materials, and statements. And it's a good practice to make notes of your conversations. Be skeptical of any phone calls, emails, or websites that request personal or banking information. Verify anyone claiming to be from a government office or agency. You can call the agency back on a main line, and you should know, for our part, the SEC does not endorse investment offers, assist in purchase or sale of securities, or participate in money transfers. And finally, don't fund any investment through gift cards, prepaid cards, credit cards, or wire transfers, nor should you pay any upfront fees in order to claim proceeds, stock, or winnings.
What are some of the tools that the SEC provides to help investors protect themselves, specifically from investment scams and fraud?
Well, sure. As I just mentioned, investor.gov, the website, provides resources to educate yourself about investment professionals and investment products. So, for example, you can type in your investment professional's name and get their background, licensing, and any disciplinary history. Investor.gov also has free tools and calculators to help you evaluate investment products. You can also contact our Office of Investor Education and Advocacy online by phoning or by emailing us at help@sec.gov. And finally, you can also research certain investment products on the SEC's EDGAR database through a link on sec.gov, including the financial information of public companies, mutual funds, exchange-traded funds, and variable annuities.
Okay, Mark, one last question for you. What should listeners do if they suspect they may have been a victim of investment fraud?
So if you think you've been a victim or may have been a victim of securities fraud, you can report the suspected fraud to the SEC through what's known as our TIP complaint and referral system at www.sec.gov/TCR, or by calling us at 1-800-732-0330, or emailing us at help@sec.gov.
Mark, thanks for joining us. As a member of the deaf and hard of hearing community, you can take steps to educate yourself and protect yourself from investment fraud. Visit investor.gov for more information about the types of red flags and investment fraud that we've talked about in this video. Thanks to Jay for the ASL interpretation, and thanks to you all for watching.